Hi everybody, Sally from Sally Stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Today I am bringing you my birthday Bonanza frame. I'm sure my kids are going to probably kill me for this, but I've created a frame, a picture frame. It does stand up, it has a little stand at the back, and you can easily interchange the photograph. But yeah, my kids are grown up now, and you know, we had some great holidays and some fun times with them when they were little, and so I decided that I was going to use a couple of, I was recently sorting out some photographs actually, and I came across this one and the one of my son, and I thought I need to put them in a frame and have them in my craft room to remember those days when they were little and cute. And so as you know, I love koalas, so it had to have the koalas on there. This is from the Well Written bundle. It does make me smile. As soon as I see these photos, they make me smile. So it was quite apt. So it does use quite a lot of products, I'm afraid, which is ridiculous because it's quite basic. But I guess you could use, you know, just a simple stamp here. You don't have to use die cuts. You can use whatever suits the occasion, really. It might be a wedding photo or a birthday party. You can have congratulations in just a simple stamp, so you don't have to go to what I have. But as I said, it just, all of my things there, my kids, koalas and crafting, everything makes me smile. So yeah, so I'm going to show you how simple it is to make this frame. So then, to start off with, you will need 2 pieces of cardstock that measure 6.5 by 4.5 inches, which is 16.5 by 11.5 centimetres. This is based on a photograph that is 6 by 4. Photos vary in sizes, and obviously, you know, I guess different cameras and different printers, etc. But I went with a standard 6 by 4. And I did have to cut my photos down because they were actually 7 by 5s, just typical. But yeah, so that's how I went with it. So 6.5 by 4.5, 16.5 by 11.5, both identical. So you'll need one obviously for the front, one for the back. The one that you're going to use for the front, so this one can just be popped to one side for now. You will need your stitched rectangle framelets. I've used the second to the largest one here. Again, it will depend on what aperture you want, etc. But I've gone with the second one. And you'll have noticed that I've left a slightly bigger bit at the bottom, and that was obviously my intention, was for me to have this little sentiment at the bottom. If you wanted to create more of a square frame without any writing, you just need to alter the length. Excuse me? Can you be quiet, please? I'm quite busy. My little dog grumbling at me. That will probably continue now throughout most of this. Okay, so you're going to pop this on. Now, if you've got some of that low stick tape, any other form of tape that you need, then obviously it's ideal to hold this in place because you need to run this through your die cutting machine. Now, I've said to you previously, I still have my Big Shot. The best way I found of doing this, because I did actually realise that my first one wasn't actually cut that straight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop my board sort of long ways here, and then put my card and my rectangle on the top. And then obviously I just need to make sure it's lined up and it's straight, and I'm happy with it. Again, if you want to be more precise, get your ruler out, start measuring distances, etc., then feel free. I'm pretty naughty and just kind of wing it. That looks relatively straight, although I do feel there's more card one side than the other, but I think that's about the best I'm going to get it. Then I'm going to pop my clear plate on top, hold it onto it as tight can be so it doesn't move, and then run it through. Simple as that. Okay, so pop that out. That out of the way. Oh, she's disappeared now, so we're okay. And yeah, unfortunately it has moved. So I've got this slight slant, but I will carry on and show you how I made the rest. Obviously, let's hang on to this. It's ideal. It's a nice little stitched rectangle, so it's ideal for another project. So we'll pop that to one side. So here's my wonky frame. Please ignore the wonky frame. So I'm going to flip it over, and I have one of our window sheets, if you can see there. And this is 6 1/4 by 4 1/4. I have used it to cover the whole length of this, but obviously you don't need to. And then I've simply got some of our multi-purpose glue. Now you can use glue dots, you could use snail or whatever you wish, but I'm just using our wonderful Tombow. And then simply pop this in place. And then I'm just obviously going to give it a little press all the way around, press that glue down and get that adhering. And then whilst that's drying, I've then got my foam adhesive strips, which I love. And, oh crumbs, crikey. As you can see, used. You do get 2 packs. I've already used 1 strip of mine because they are lovely. Oh, now she's grumbling, this dog of mine. So as you can see, I literally just cut them to pieces, so to size. So you don't need one across the top, obviously, because you need your photograph to slip in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself a little bit of a border. So I'm going quite close to the top, but not all the way to the top. And then I've got my second foam strip here, and that's going to go, and I'm actually just sitting this on the window sheet, so you can kind of follow your own line, and then you just need to cut them to size. Now obviously you don't really want this to go all the way to the bottom, because then your picture will, sorry, I didn't realise that was off camera. You don't want your adhesive strip to go all the way to the bottom, because obviously your photograph will then drop. So you need to put it roughly where you want the bottom of your picture to sit, and I want mine about there. Daisy, you'll have to be patient, baby girl. And then I roughly need about that much to sit there. Now we're not having, it's not a shaker, so I don't need to worry about filling in these gaps, and equally it's not going to be seen either, so I'm still not concerned. Then I'm going to take my backing off, which again is just like the dimensionals. Just peel that backing off, and with your other piece of card that you had. Now I found this best to drop my end on the desk. This one's on the desk, so I now know that both those ends are going to be level. And then using my fingers as a guide, I'm just going to push them together like that. And then once you've lay it down, you can just press those foam strips down a little better. There we go. So there is my wonky picture frame. And then I've got my picture of my son, bless him, and I'm simply going to pop that in the frame. So there's my picture. I did actually cut this a bit wrong. I should have cut a bit more off the bottom and not so much off the top. But anyway, so there is my beautiful son in the frame. So to decorate it, which is the easiest part, so I have my koalas that I showed you in my previous tutorial, how to sort of stamp and die cut out. So I've just done them really simply. And then I have just stuck these on. So I've added adhesive to just one side and stuck it on. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to pop another one up there. That one will sit up there. And obviously this would be ideal for a birthday as well, because if you had these little characters with party hats on, then it would be so much fun. Perfect for a birthday. So that's simply my lovely koalas stuck on. And then I've got some DSP here, and I haven't got my Whisper White out. A scrap of Whisper White here, and then I've got my Well Said stamp set for the Make Me Smile, which is just there. So I'm going to pop that on my block, and then I have Mango Melody to go with the cardstock that I used, and I'm just going to stamp that. I don't need it the full size of the card, so it's going to go nearer the top there. And then I'm just going to grab my paper trimmer here, as I want to take some of the length off that. Just like that. And then I also need to take off, or should I say leave a little bit extra for my die cut. So that's that part done. Move that out of the way. And then, as you know me, I have some DSP. So I'm just going to snail that onto the DSP. And then, as you know, I use my scissors to trim that down. Just need a little bit off there. And then my last couple of bits. So I need my, here it is. So I've got some Bermuda Bay card here and my well-written framelets. So I want the you, so that you make me smile. So just pop those to one side for a second. Whoops. And then back in with my big shot. As I just want to die cut that word out. So just run that through. Move that. There we go. Get rid of that. And I have my little sentiment here. Oops. So I'm just going to pop those bits out, and then I simply used my fine tip glue pen to just really add a couple of dots around the O, because that's really all that's sticking. And then I just popped that on just like that at an angle, and then a couple of dimensionals on the back, and this will then stick in place. Across the bottom here. Oh no, Mr. Koala, is that going to be on your foot? No, I think we might be okay. There we go. So that one then sits nicely there. And so all we have left to do now then is to create our stand. So you need a piece of cardstock that is 7 inches by 2 inches, or 17.5 by 5. And I'm actually just going to use my trimmer to score this one because it's easiest. So I need to score it on the long side at 1/2 inch, 4 inches and 6.5. And in centimetres that will be 1, 10 and 16.5 centimetres. And then my favourite, which I've not used yet, you must be impressed. So the first bend I want to use is this one. So I'm going to fold and reinforce that one. And then that will sit at the bottom. So this piece also needs to fold that way, reinforce it, and then this one will actually fold the opposite way, and again we'll just reinforce that. Some tear and tape just across the top piece here. And also this bottom piece here. And then all we need to do is adhere this to the card. So I'm going to take my backing off the end nearest the shorter part here. And what I did is I simply put it on the desk flat like that. And again, if you want to measure to make sure you've got the centre, then obviously you can. But I'm just going to hold that in place, and then I'm just going to pop my frame up to the edge and press that in place, because I now know that's where that needs to be. And then take the backing off the top piece, and then all it is a case of deciding at what angle you want this to sit, and then just resting. You need to make sure this part is flat, and then you're just resting this against the back. So keeping this on the desk, we're just simply going to fold that over, get the right angle, and then press it on to the back. And then again, you can just give that a little press to make sure they're all in place. And there is my picture frames. So there they are, my two beautiful children. Oh, Jack, you're in the light there. There we go. My two beautiful children in picture frames with my favourite animals. What more could I want? I don't know, maybe some chocolate, that would be handy. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to go and sort my dog out. Have a great day, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.